Good morning and welcome to Miterdale. The captain and I here in Irton Forest. Going to go up onto Irton Fell and then Winn Rigg above Wastwater for a classic ridge walk towards Ilgill Head. We're going to see plenty of the Scafell Massif, probably Great Gable in the distance. We're going to enjoy forest, fells, footpaths and some epic sights today. Thanks for joining us. So a gradual rise through Irton Forest at first, and we can just see the crags through the trees of Irton Fell. Now just beyond that it turns into pine plantations. Originally this was deemed marginal land, not good for cattle, certainly not good for farming, and as part of the Muncaster estate it was deemed suitable by the Forestry Commission just after the Second World War to plant a whole load of pines. So the Forestry Commission, which was originally created for the purpose of restocking Britain's timber plantations, decided in the post-war years that Upper Irton Fell would be ripe for pine plantations. Japanese larch, Sitka spruce, Scots pine, all taking the place in the slightly acidic soil that they're surviving on this fell of the larch, the silver birch and the oak. And this again was the result. Wall to wall, spindly, fast-growing trees struggling for the daylight all across the upper slopes of Irton Fell. And again, early 20th century, just like in Miterdale, it was realised that the biodiversity was suffering. The animals weren't. Here there's nothing to eat on a pine-strewn forest floor, there's no plants for them to eat, so there's no food chain. And again, like the Wild Ellendale project, rewilding had to happen. Decision was made to change the face of the fells in this area. So that essential forestry work, rewilding, clearing the fells, it continues even today, and it's obviously impacted our plans. And if you come in this way, I suppose you should have a plan B, and ours is, after consulting at the OS, instead of coming up through the pines at this stage, we can follow a gently curving forest track to bypass that. So the deforestation continues, and we'll be having indigenous species of birch and larch and oak, hopefully eventually. So while it looks like vandalism and it looks a little brutish, if I just look over the captain's shoulder, it looks like some kind of section of the Amazon that's been torn up by global contractors, but it is part of a 50 to 100 year rewilding project that will bring back all the indigenous plants and animals and the food chain and so forth. But after coming here for 40 years, I do have to sort of scratch my chin and say it's sort of a shame. I love the pines, not the close packed shoulder to shoulder sort of style of the dark impenetrable forest, but I love the smell of them, the sound of them in the wind, and the shelter they gave, and the sense of life amidst the fells, as you can see here, without all these plantation pines marching away into the distance. It would be a very barren, empty fell indeed. So as we can just hear the last of that enormous machine eating away at the plantation, the captain and I are just about to hit the upper slopes of Irton Fell, which the crags are just behind me. So as you can see, this is essentially the early blueprint. This was felled a good 10 years ago, 5 years ago, between 5 and 10. And you can see, if you look at all the pines, they're all of one type, more indigenous. There's a few silver birches lower down, and yeah, they're spaced out because they've grown here naturally. A bit of heather, a few pines, a bit of silver birch, and it's still a grasp for someone like us to comprehend a plan that is measured over decades. But it's going to be wonderful eventually. Well, as we're gaining a bit of height, we're certainly gaining a bit of high-speed wind, certainly picking up like it was forecast to, and just there in the centre of the screen you can just see the early fells of Wasdale. I'll mark on the map just there, and here just above the captain's shoulder, that's the ascent to Winn Rigg, and we're probably going to experience quite a lot of wind on the top, but we brought all the right gear and we've got our maps. So it's been epic so far. Shafts of light just illuminating the Mitredale Fells, and like I say, a bit of a stiffening, certainly very refreshing breeze as we head towards Winn Rigg. So at this stage it's a long grassy plod, and it looks like it's miles just there to what looks like to be the start of the summit of Winn Rigg. However, we can just see a young hiker that's gone ahead of us just to lend the image some perspective and scale, and I think probably another 15 minutes be at the top of that ridge. Awesome. So the cairn, the highest point of Winn Rigg, about 585 metres, and if we just pan around, this is our direction. A slight trough, a col there on the way to Ilgill Head, and just marked on the map you can see Yew Barrow, and just over the shoulder of Ilgill Head, a little peak of the head and shoulders of Great Gable, my favourite. Amazing. So when we get a bit closer to Ilgill Head, we'll be closer to the edge. Views of Wastwater and Wasdale. But just take this in. We've had forests, and our footsteps have brought us to the fells, where it's absolutely fantastic. Like I said, a bit windy. Great Gable owning the head of the valley, Yew Barrow just to its left, and Kirk Fell snugly between them. Like I said, it's not a day to bring a drone up here. It would have been fantastic footage, but you'd never get it back. So there we go, another epic view of Wastwater and Wasdale. The captain and I just about to summit here on the short plateau to Ilgill Head with even more spectacular views. Let's keep going and let's see them. Oh, a little bit of shelter. There we go, Ilgill Head, 609 metres. And if we just pause here, Scafell Pikes, the flank of Great Gable, Kirk Fell and Yew Barrow. 609 metres. Time for a cup of tea and maybe another sandwich. So Captain and I is going to drop anchor here and enjoy a little bit of shelter while you check out some of this. Wasn't that amazing? Some of our favourite Cumbrian fells there. Right, time to get moving. We've left nothing and nobody behind. Gonna come over the ridge here, descend towards the pass, skirt Burnmore Tarn, and then sashay along the side of Longmoor. Still very breezy. There we go, we're leaving the slopes of Ilgill Head behind and just running through this little part of the col next to Burnmore Tarn here is the Old Corpse Road, that's now a footpath between Wasdale Head and Boot. And Burnmore Lodge, its quiet, brooding, solitary place on the edge of the tarn. So essentially this is how the path twiddles along, with Winn, Rigg, Ilgill Head Ridge just to our right. Now we're just going to twiddle along on our way back to Tongue Moor and the head of Miterdale. In the meantime, it's just a beautiful, now more calm with less wind afternoon, still with the sunshine. And we just trundle along. It's absolutely lovely. A nice sort of dessert to the main course of the day. So there we go, back in one piece, back to the car. There'll be a link underneath, what 3 words you can find this car park. The whole route about 10 miles, and I think you'll agree that doing it this way round, so we end up walking along the ridge facing Scafell and all its friends, was better than doing it the other way round. The other view is of a nuclear power station. So thanks for joining us. We're going to put our feet up. See you next time.